Hello, beautiful people. Good morning. I am feeling so good, feeling so just excited and juiced up kind of because I was sleeping last night and I had all this amazing delicious ideas and transmissions coming through for me. So many of you have been inside of my Sensual Emotional Intelligence container, and everyone knows I love that course. I love that workshop. I think it's amazing, and truly it is a next level understanding of what it means to be emotionally intelligent. I think a lot of people have confusion around what it means to be a truly emotionally intelligent person, and having emotional intelligence without that sensual component is it's concept, but it's not, you're not really able to experience your emotions as as real, as things that can transform your life and change your life and make magical, radical differences in how you experience reality. Anyway, so I wanted to get in here to do a kind of raw transmission. I do have a few notes, but I wanted to share this because I am going to be launching soon. I don't know when, what it's gonna look like. I don't have any of those details yet, but I'm going to be launching this new thing and I'm so excited about it. It's so, oh my gosh, it is literally next level stuff regarding sensual emotional intelligence. So yes, there's going to be a sensual emotional intelligence 2.0. It is going to be called Queen of Reality. And I don't know if it's going to be a training or a large course that people can sign up for maybe I don't know, weeks at a time, or pre-recorded. I don't have any of that yet, but I want to introduce this concept to you all about emotional and spiritual solidity. So if you have taken my Sensual Emotional Intelligence course, which maybe is coming back, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly kind of felt bored with it, and that's why I discontinued it. So I don't know, but if you are familiar with Sensual Emotional Intelligence, you know that emotional intelligence and sensual emotional intelligence are two different things. God delivered the concept of sensual emotional intelligence to me, although I don't necessarily think it's unique. It's just that the wording and the explanation of it really explains why we experience reality in the way that we do, why we experience our feelings in the way that we do, and why we get in traps when we're trying to understand emotion from the logical realm, especially as feminine beings. So emotional intelligence is the theory, or more from the logical mind of how you should treat people, how you should treat yourself. And that is really important. It's important to know from a conceptual space, how to deal with people, how to navigate certain situations, how to maybe respond appropriately. And that is all well and good. The problem is when those emotional truths, say you even have I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you have these emotional truths that you understand at a concept level. You understand, oh, I should be kind to people. Oh, I should, I shouldn't feel shame. I shouldn't feel guilty. I should be free to be myself. I should be able to hold space for people, right? We always talk about holding space for people. And yes, we know at a head level, at a concept level, at a logic level, at a logos level of shouldn't. If you've been in the desire course or the workshop that I did, what was it, last month? I don't know. Last month, I talk about the shouldn't, like, matrix of the mind. The spiritual and, like, sensational truth, and when I say sensational, I mean, like, in-body truth of, like, why doing those things are important will never be transferred from your, like, mind into your body until your body is open enough to receive the truth of it. So you can, like, perform, right? Like, you can perform kindness, you can perform compassion, you can perform like, what's an example, like trying to understand, like, why a person is doing what they're doing. You can perform holding space, you can do all of those things, but unless you are, like, sensually at a sensation level aware of the juice that comes, like the deliciousness that comes from holding the sensation of what it feels like to be compassionate, holding the sensation of what it feels like to really, like, hold, like, not just, like, sit there and listen to someone while they're talking and be like, yes, I'm holding space, I'm, you know, I'm here, I'm listening, but, like, you're actually dissociated from your bodily experience of, like, their feeling. Sensual emotional intelligence is learning how to actually allow these sensations that move through you when you are doing those, like, emotionally intelligent things to, like, penetrate your system, to move through you in a responsible way, to create like, beautifully and powerfully with the truth of reality. And a lot of times the problem is people are very emotionally intelligent. Like, they know all the therapy language, they know how to hold space, they know all these things, but because they are so trapped in the logos, they have not yet understood, like, the next level of emotional intelligence that is the only thing that is real, the only thing in this world, in your experiencing of reality that is real is sensation. There is nothing that you can perceive as real that you cannot perceive through sensation. And this is where it gets crazy. So we receive sensation through our bodies, right? And when we receive that sensation, we filter it through our consciousness, through our, like, brains. Like, sensation moves through our bodies. We see something, we smell something, we hear something. What are all the senses? We have a sensual experience. And then what happens is we have conscious or unconscious thoughts about that sensation that we have experienced. Oh, like, you know, like, I see this person. We're not really conscious that we're receiving sensation, but I see this person. Oh, she's pretty. Oh, like, I really love this, like, food I'm eating. Oh, like, this is good. And this is where it starts to get kind of creepy and scary, because when you're not conscious of this, you will be the most emotionally intelligent person. You will be, like, the person with all the therapy language, you will know all of the reasons for, like, you know, I act out in this way because my parents neglected me. I have these wounds and these fears because of something I experienced when I was, like, a young adult, and it scarred me, and that's why I have trouble, like, sharing my thoughts and ideas or sharing my boundaries or anything like that. You'll have all the theory worked out at a head level, and you will be totally removed from reality. Why are you totally removed from reality? Because you are totally dissociated from your sensual experience. And again, like, going back to what I said, the only thing that's actually real is the sensation. After you receive the sensation, meaning like the felt sense of what you are receiving in your body, right? After that, it's all concept, it's all theory. So when we are like going back in time and being like, oh my gosh, like I was walking down the street today and I really wanted to like have an open energy, like, all the language, like all the like feminine energy stuff. I wanted to walk down the street and I really wanted to have an open energy so I could attract a man. And like, all well and good. But like, you're telling yourself the story that I can't because, I have a father wound and it's just really hard for me. And I feel so much fear because, and when you're saying that because, you're right after then, you're telling me the theory. You're telling me the thought, you're telling me the logos, like your reasoning mind's like reason for why you can't do the thing that you want to do. So you're emotionally intelligent from the perspective of like, you understand the theory of why you think you can't do what you want to do, why you can't open, why you can't activate your voice, why you can't, I don't know, like literally do anything you just want to do in life. But what you don't understand is that all of that is just theory. It's not reality. It's a story. And this is where we get into Queen of Reality, okay? So for those of you that just got on, Queen of Reality is the new iteration of Sensual Emotional Intelligence. And like I was just sharing with the people that were on before that I was feeling kind of bored with Sensual Emotional Intelligence, and I've been praying for a long time for God to deliver something new to me regarding this area because I know it's so expensive. So anyways, let me get back on topic. So a Queen of Reality understands that the only thing that's real is the sensation that she's currently feeling. The story that she's telling herself about why she feels the fear, why she feels the anger. Oh my God, like my girlfriend called me and she said all this crazy stuff to me and I can't believe that she did that and da-da-da-da-da. Like the drama is a story. The theory that you learn a lot of times in therapy, I love traditional therapy. I have a therapist. I think it's amazing. I think it's good to be able to play with ideas about why you are the way that you are. But at the end of the day, the only thing that is real is the sensation that you are feeling in the present moment. And until you are able to presence those feelings and like feel them in your body, I'm feeling a lot of anger right now. Let me just presence that feeling. Like I feel that in my chest. I feel tightness there. My stomach is clenched. And just really like meditate and pull your focus onto the sensation. If you do not learn that sensual emotional intelligence, you will forever be hijacked by the thought realm of like all of these stories and theories about what you think is the reason why you feel that. Let me offer to you, it doesn't actually matter why you feel. Like, you don't need to justify your feeling. It's actually not very helpful. What matters is that you're present to the feeling that comes up and you're aware that you are like anchoring that story into reality. Every time that you have a thought and a sensation simultaneously, you are anchoring the theory into reality. Like you're perceiving the sensation and the story that you're telling yourself are linked up, but because you're not conscious and you're like dissociated from your sensual experience of your emotions, you're thinking that the story you're telling yourself is real when in actuality, it's the sensations that you're experiencing is real. So you're calling your girlfriend or you're calling your friend and you're saying like, oh, you know, like I'm feeling really angry because they slighted me. Again, you're not experiencing the feeling of anger in that moment. You've gone up into your head, and so you're telling yourself a story, right? And then because you're still feeling the feeling, but you're not presencing the feeling, you are experiencing all the emotional charge, and there's like this heavy emotional charge that's rooted in reality. Like the sensation is real. The sensation is like a real experience, but you're linking it to the story. You're experiencing the story as real and your feelings as not. Because like in a Western society, right, we illegitimize feelings. We have such a difficult time finding the legitimacy in like, this is what I'm feeling right now. Like, can I just be present to that feeling? Do I really need to have a reason for why I feel that? Like, do I really need that? What if instead you could use that emotional charge to create a new reality, to create a new story, to anchor a different story inside of your perceptive reality? Because your perceptive reality is the only thing that you will ever truly like be a first person experiencer of. Like your body is like the first, like how do I explain it? It's like your body is like the first person experience, and then your mind takes over as like a second person. It's like when you're telling a story to like a police officer, or you're like doing research or something like that. I think that's a better example. Like you're doing research, you want to go to a first person account. That's the person that really knows like what the heck is going on, like what's real. Are you going to go to like the person that like heard the story about what happened or formulated a theory about what happened? No. Like they're not really who you want to talk to. You want to talk to the first person who experienced it, because that they probably have like a better understanding of what really is going on, you know, than someone who's like, well, you know, I heard that this happened and the reason why they did that was da 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 da. That's what your mind does. And so the majority of people, and specifically the majority of women, are really trapped in drama. They're trapped in story, and they're perceiving the story as real because they're experiencing a sensual reality, a feeling that feels really real, but because they're not, like I said, presencing that feeling, they're perceiving the story as what's real. And the story is just a story. I hope that that makes sense. Okay. So, when we talk about Queen of Reality, like, what is this going to be all about? So we already talked about, like, what is sensual intelligence, why drama in your life feels real and why it's not. So, like, sensation can work. Actually, I don't want to go there yet. I want to talk about magic, because a lot of Christians, you know, a lot of Christians have like this weird, like feeling where they're like, oh, magic is a no-no. Like, and like, I understand where they're coming from when they're talking about that. I really do get it. But like the way that I understand magic and the way that I've done magic and done alchemy has been through meaning creation and symbolism. So if you are detached from meaning and symbolism and the reality that at every moment in your life you are making things mean something, you are telling yourself a story, you are not a queen of reality. You are not in charge of your reality. You are not empowered in the sense of like where you are telling yourself that like, I can decide what I want this situation to mean. I can use the emotional charge that I'm currently feeling right now and say, oh my gosh, like, okay, so like I have this transformation candle here. Ooh, so cute. Okay, y'all can't really see it, but it's so cute. So when you are a queen of reality, you understand that all magic and alchemy is you taking the charge of an emotion that you're currently feeling, or if you're like a master of this, which I will be teaching in the Queen of Alchemy, like how to conjure up emotions. All it is that you take like objects, like this is literally just a candle. There's nothing special about this. There's nothing magical about this. What's magical is my emotional charge, my energy, and the fact that I took that emotional charge of like, like I'm feeling like some really delicious like movement in my system. I feel that like energy of transformation, that like joyful excitement, like feeling a possibility. I'm going to use this emotional charge I'm going to anchor this in reality first by giving presence to the fact that I'm feeling that feeling, not telling a story about why I'm feeling it, not telling a story about, oh, this happened and that probably triggered why I'm feeling really charged up and excited right now. Because it, like, I'm telling y'all, it doesn't matter. Queen of Alchemy says, what do I want to use this emotional charge for? Okay, I'm going to presence the fact that I'm feeling like this delicious possibility energy. Let me just feel that in my body right now. That feels really good. That feels really nice. And then I'm going to anchor it into reality through a symbol. So I use that emotional charge to kind of like infuse items around my house. Like, you know, like white for me represents clarity. You know, so when I go to like use these objects, because when I was in a state where I was feeling that like energy of clarity, that energy of desire for information, for understanding, for awareness, my subconscious, because I had that strong emotional charge and I intentionally created a story to attach to my reality, to my sensual reality, to something in my awareness in my space, the charge of that feeling will forever be linked to this object. The charge of transformation will forever be linked to this candle. I mean, it's burned out, but like if you're anything like me, like I'm a very sentimental person. Like I naturally just infuse things with meaning. But I learned to be conscious about the fact that I'm doing it, because if you're not conscious, what will happen is you'll have an experience with someone where they will maybe act in a way that triggers a wound in you. You'll say, I feel really angry, and then you'll do that thing where instead of presencing the feeling, you'll go up in your head, you'll have a theory, because they slighted me. I feel angry because they betrayed me. I feel angry because, you know, they did this, that, and the third to me. And you lose the opportunity to alchemize that situation to work in your favor. To say, I'm feeling this feeling. What am I going to use this feeling for? I feel the anger. How can I use the situation of this strong emotional charge to like create what I want to be real? It doesn't matter why I feel what I'm feeling. What do I want? I would love to feel, I don't know, safer in the world with this feeling. Like sometimes we get so overwhelmed by the sensation that we feel like we need to discharge it by like talking to other people and like I said, theorizing about why we feel the way that we feel, calling our friends, calling you know, our mom, our parents, like telling them like the story of what happened. How can you use that emotional charge to deepen your presence of yourself at a sensual level? Like, use that anger to build a more detailed map of your internal realm for you, for your own ascension, descension, for your own awareness of the texture of how you experience life, so that when you encounter joy, when you encounter pleasure, when you encounter like all these delicious feelings, you're not triggered by them and like repelling them, or like, oh my gosh, like there's so much sensation here, like get it off of me, or calling people or like, you know, talking about it so much, or maybe like nitpicking or theorizing yourself out of strong emotional charges because it feels so overwhelming to hold. Does that make sense? Because as soon as you, like I said, start theorizing about why you're feeling something, you're no longer really present to the feeling. And so you're no longer in an empowered position to be, like I said, this like queen of reality, where she gets to make everything work for her good. She gets to alchemize the positive and the negative experiences that she has to work in her favor, to deepen her inner awareness, to like infuse her life with delicious meaning that's created on purpose, that's not being hijacked by her ego. That is a creative, like beautiful, delicious process of really art, like a creative experience. I have this story of like one of my amazing family members. We had like a bit of a like contentious conversation. A lot of feelings of fear came up for me in that moment. Like, it triggered so many fears of mine of like abandonment, and you know, I felt lonely in my feelings. I felt scared. I felt like that little girl in me, that little girl part of me that's like, I feel worried I'm not safe right now. I feel worried like I have to protect myself in the world. I feel worried that, you know, like I feel small. I feel defenseless. I feel hopeless. After I had that experience, I totally got up in my head. I totally had like all these judgments about what was going on, right? After that, Queen of Reality moment, I'm home. I turn on my music, ask for intuitive guidance to like a song that's gonna like bring those emotions back up in me. I use that feeling of loneliness to go back to a place, go back to that little girl version of me that felt lonely, that felt scared. I conjure those feelings up. I take myself back there consciously to rewrite that story, to tell myself in that moment, whilst feeling all those feelings, while feeling the loneliness, while feeling the fear, I am here for you. Like, adult Leah is here for you. I love you. I remember you. You are not forgotten. And so what I've done in that moment is I've taken a situation that was really challenging for me. I have, like, I don't care why I felt, like, I don't care what that family member did that triggered the feeling. I genuinely, that is of no interest to me, because it doesn't serve me to sit around and like call my therapist or call my friends and be like, so-and-so did this to me and I can't believe that they did that and I can't believe they raised their voice at me and like it just made me feel so angry and so mad and like I just can't deal with them, blah, 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 blah. Do you see how unproductive that is? When you are a queen of reality, you get to use all that emotional charge to work for you to go back to the dark places in your life and affirm a reality in your present moment using that emotional charge. Because like, this is the thing. I experience this candle as solid because I can feel it. Yes. I have so many candles. I experience this as solid because I can feel it. I experience this rug underneath me as solid and real. Why? Because I can feel it. You experience your feelings as solid because they exist in your body and you can feel them. If you are dissociated from your feelings, guess what? You're still feeling them. You're just not conscious of the fact that you're feeling them. So whatever theories and stories you're telling yourself, they're linked up to the sensation that you're not conscious that you're feeling. And so you're perceiving the theory and the story as what's real instead of the feeling. And that's why it's dangerous not to be a queen of reality, because you're not aware that you are in charge. You're not aware that you can create new meaning in the present moment. You can decide to use that emotional charge to create a new reality of safety, of love, of being remembered, of being cherished, of cherishing like yourself. And it doesn't matter why you feel the feeling. It doesn't matter. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so like this truth applies to limiting beliefs with a strong emotional anchor. So maybe you had an experience where you went up to go give a speech, right? And you made a mistake. I've done that. Like, it's so embarrassing. And maybe you created a story for yourself of like, I'm just not a person who's good at public speaking. What happened there? You created a story, a theory about something. There's no like actual truth there. You can't prove that. Like, you can't prove that that's true at all. What happened? What happened is you had a strong emotional experience. There was a strong emotional charge that you experienced as real, as solid. That emotion had a solidity to it. But you were not conscious or trained in sensual emotional intelligence from the perspective of like learning to presence the feeling and understand the feeling as what's real. Not what happened, because that doesn't really matter and it's already over. Not what could happen in the future, because that hasn't happened yet. But like the feeling itself as the only thing that's real in the present, you didn't learn to do that. So what happened is, because you were dissociated from the in-body experience of your feeling, you took the story that you were having, like the story that you're telling yourself, and it linked itself up with that strong sensation. And so the belief that I'm not good at public speaking gained solidity. It gained solidity in your body because you feel the weight of that sensation, but you're not conscious of it. And then it's linking itself up to these beliefs. It works the same thing with drama, or like how you perceive people. You say like, oh my gosh, that person's such an a-hole. That person's so terrible. You're feeling anger. Like, you're making a judgment against them, which like, sure, if that's how you want to live your life and you want to be dissociated from reality and you want to be disempowered, that is a totally straight one-way highway to being dissociated and creating like stories and thinking that they're real. Like, not being able to presence your anger and telling stories about other people and blaming them. And what will happen is that story will gain solidity. It will gain realness, a sense of like realness inside of your reality every time you encounter that person. Every time you get up on, you like have an experience of like getting up on stage and you re-feel that feeling of like embarrassment, or you re-feel that feeling of anger when you like see that person or they act that way. Like you are not really conscious of the fact that like you're creating them being the a-hole. You're creating yourself not being good at public speaking. Why? Because you're reinforcing the belief through the fact that you're still experiencing this emotional charge and not taking it captive. Like for Christians, like take every thought captive is alchemy. It's magic. Like I understand like not everyone resonates with that, not everyone will resonate with that, and that's fine. But that is what it is in my realm, in my space. You cannot have an empowered relationship to reality. You cannot be a queen of reality if you are not taking every thought captive and making it obedient. Do you get that? Making your thoughts obedient to what you desire to feel, what is in alignment with what God sees for you, what is in alignment with the fact that there is no like, you don't have these limits that you are putting onto yourself. None of that is real in the sense of like a physical reality. There's no physical reality to the theories that we make up in our head and the limiting beliefs that we have. There's no physical reality to the stories we tell ourselves or the drama that we create in our lives. The only thing I'm saying it so many times because our programming is so opposite to this. We live in a hyper-intellectualized society that believes that theory is God. Theory is law. Sensation is bad. Sensuality is bad. And it has divorced us from our bodies in such a way that we believe our theories are more intelligent than our body. And if you can see how damaging that is for relationships, if you can see how damaging that is for your ability to take empowered action in your life, you're on the right path. Like you're hearing what I'm saying. You're getting it. So let me go back. Whew. Wow, like I'm just like so juiced up for this, and like I can't wait to teach this because I'm like, oh my God, like I said, like I've been praying for this. So going into positive feelings, you're having like an amazing day. You're so happy, you're so juiced up, you're so charged up. Instead of like wasting that feeling, which like you can't waste the feeling, like feel your feeling, like I love it, like I love it for you. What if you could use that experience, right, to decide that like, oh my gosh, like this is a great time for me to really anchor in some like positive beliefs for myself. Like use the sensation as an opportunity to like listen to music that has positive words in it. Listen to music that has like affirmations. Dance in a way that feels really liberating. If you have blocks around your expression, utilizing those times where you feel really high vibe, feel really happy to like go outside and talk to strangers and anchor into your reality through the emotional charge that you're currently experiencing, that it's safe to talk to strangers. It's safe if you have blocks around talking to men or feeling that men are safe. Using those times where you feel really high vibe, really excited, really turned on by life. Yes, like music to lift your emotions, Heather. Like, I love that. And like, like, I don't know if you were in the Restoring Ritual class, Heather, but like I talked about how you can conjure up emotions, and a queen of reality does that. Like a queen of reality knows, is so tapped into her sensual awareness of like what happy feels like, what angry feels like, what sad feels like, that she knows how to conjure up those feelings and use them for her good. So like, okay, like I want to feel really high vibe. What do I need to feel high vibe? I need to run a bath. I need a bath bomb. I need something colorful and like something that like I can fixate my sensual awareness on, something that smells really delicious, something that like makes me feel like really luxurious and like happy. And I need like really high vibe music with really particularly positive lyrics, and I need to really enjoy it. I need to not have my phone in the bathroom. I need like a pretty loofah. And that's why like a lot of times like people that are coming from a more masculine perspective, like men especially, sometimes they don't understand like why why as feminine beings we need these things. But like when you are an alchemical master, when you are a queen of reality, you need to be able to conjure emotion. You need those like dark clothing in your closet so that you can really feel the sensation of grief and like sit with it and be with it. You need the sparkly pen to channel excitement. Why? Because when you have the like sensual experience of that, and again, the sensual is the real, right? It's what your brain and your soul, your subconscious understands as real. When you have that, that is when you are able to then anchor in new yummy like delicious beliefs. You can go out the next few hours and use that residual charge to like talk to strangers, to sell to clients if that feels good to you, to like create art like that you're really gonna love. And the thing is like the more that you do that, the more the reality of like the beliefs that you tell yourself, the beliefs that like you're deciding like, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna do this thing, and the whole time I'm gonna tell myself, instead of telling myself the normal story that I tell myself of like, it's scary to have an open energy, it's scary to be like high vibe and high spirited, I am going to tell myself like, I am loved, I am received, I am welcome everywhere I go, I am joyous, and I get to share my joy with others. People love receiving my joy. People love experiencing my joy. Like, I get to devotionally be beautiful, and like people get to look at me and experience like my radiance, and that gets to light me up because I get to experience them like feeling joy from me, and like I get to take that charge and amplify the charge that I already feel. And so do you see how like that rewires your subconscious, your perception of reality itself by giving yourself a sensual experience that is different from like maybe like you wake up, you roll out of bed, you go to the store, and like you're sitting in the grocery line and you're like, oh my God, that girl, like I really love her nail color, but like I don't want to tell her because like that would be weird. Like that would be too much, When you repeatedly do these things that are like where you're feeling, so like in that situation, you're feeling shame. You're feeling shame. You're feeling fear. And instead of being able to presence that fear, what you're doing is telling yourself a story that it would be too much, that it would be weird. You see? So I'm really excited about this. So the Queen of Reality right now, it's going to be like a course or a workshop. I'm not really sure, but this is for like women who really desire to cultivate a really strong sense of inner trust and responsibility, like creative responsibility and discernment around spiritual symbolism, meaning in your whole life, like creating meaning from all the icky stuff that you experienced in your past, or just being more like creative and resourceful with the juicy, amazing feelings that you're feeling now. So like inner trust, responsibility, discernment around spiritual symbolism, meaning, and story creation. So that's what this is. if like you have like a deep draw towards things that have been deemed no-nos by like the Christian community or like even the spiritual community, like the Bible, like I love the Bible for being able to alchemize and use situations to my benefit, like use situations to learn lessons, to like really presence those feelings and utilize them for good. If you are like a Christian who's been drawn towards things like crystals or alchemy or magic or ecstatic dance, this is for you. Like I'm not teaching witchcraft or like anything like that. This is about you and your experience of reality. And if you're resonating with this, if you get it, then this is for you. Like, this is for you. I know it's for you because it's for me. And like, there are people like me, and like, people look at me and they're like, oh my gosh, like, how are you so happy? Or how are you like so comfortable like sharing your feelings and all of that stuff? It's because I infuse everything with meaning. I have an emotional charge. I decided like, oh, like this is gonna mean like I'm going to use this situation where I'm feeling this feeling to meditate on this thing that's already in my reality, and maybe I have some unconscious meaning associated with it. Like, oh, that's like a whole nother training. I won't go into that. But I'm going to infuse my reality with what I want it to mean. And so subconsciously, like I walk around, green is like vitality, lushness, joy. I'm looking at a tree right now. That is inside of my subconscious awareness. Lushness and vitality is a part of my subconscious awareness. Do you see how that works? Like, the color red for me like has always symbolized passion, because when I feel passionate I have like red things in my surroundings. When I feel like love, when I want to feel really open, like red also is like an open color for me because it's very attractive visually. When I want to feel open and like conjure that feeling of openness or willingness to open, red. So like seeing those things around me gets to like awaken me at like a very subtle subconscious level of like that sensation is coming online of like openness. That sensation of lushness and like vitality is coming online in my system. So I'm constantly like flooded with these like gorgeous feelings, and it's such a blessing. So there's going to be like a bunch of workshops in the series probably. Now that I'm thinking about it, it will probably end up being a private course because there's just so much here, and it will be fun. It'll be more fun that way. It'll be better that way. So there's going to be like a recorded like hip movement energy release class where like you are shaking down like energy that you want to release, conjuring that emotion up, shaking it down, like shaking the energy down. So that's gonna be really fun. That's like one of like what I call like a play shop, and like just playing with conjuring up that energy and then like shaking it down, shaking it off you, shaking it through you, moving it up you. Playing with how moving your body changes your experience of certain emotions or energies that you want to either hold in your body and like cultivate, or energies that you want to release. And then there's like also the like reality seduction dance class. So this will teach you like symbolic movement, like how to move in a way, because your body is so connected to your unconscious. Like we've literally talked about this whole workshop, like the sensation that you have is like creating beliefs and all that kind of stuff. But when you're dancing, like if you've ever heard of like interpretive dancing or static dance, there's so many ways that you can move your body to like create and conjure feelings of expansion. Like even like moving your body outwards like this when you're speaking, you will notice your energy open. So that like seductive reality seduction dance workshop is going to be like off the charts amazing. There's going to be alchemy of relationship, which is like crafting your spiritual team. So like I said, using every situation, every relationship in your life to your benefit, to like how you want to exist in the world, how you want to create your reality. The rite of ritual, like how to really connect to ritual, meaning, symbolism. And then like there's going to be some really awesome like play shops, prayer in action. Like a lot of you are familiar, if you've been in my containers before, about oh my god, I got lost there. Physical affirmation. So like what that means and what that looks like. I really love teaching that. And then recalibrating your identity at like an epigenetic level of like, okay, your body is currently templated to feel certain emotions more dominantly than others. How can you recalibrate your system to have a dominant feeling that, you know, creates more of the results that like you want in your life, or more just the feeling that you want in your life? Maybe you want to calibrate yourself towards play one day, or maybe the next day you really want to calibrate yourself towards the energy of excitement. Maybe you want to calibrate yourself towards the energy of openness. But like recalibrating, being a conscious collaborator inside of that creative experience of calibrating your like your sensual awareness of yourself at like a base level, like your base level sensual experience of yourself, literally shifts your emotional legacy. Like how people experience you, what people feel, and what they will take like from their experience of you, and like the meaning that they will create out of the experience that they've had with you, or like the meaning that your children will create out of their experience out of you. This is about crafting your emotional legacy. Like when you look back on your life, when you're on your deathbed and you're like, like who was I in this life? What did I feel dominantly? What emotions did I pass on and exude out of my body into reality? What did I create from that emotional charge? Did I create drama, or did I create like magic, alchemy, like beautiful transformation, beautiful realizations, like journeying into my past, healing past wounds? What did I create? So recalibrating your identity through choosing a new reality and like epigenetically switching on new like emotional programs that literally play out in your body, in your health, in your wellness, and like obviously your mental health, in your relationships, in your genes. Because like for women who are dating, for women who are in courtship, the men that you will attract when you're switched on in a way that's like powerful like this, like a queen of reality energy, are so different because you will not be burdened and like bogged down by all these stories of what happened in your past. You're not gonna like go on a bad date and make the story that like, oh, like I guess like it's just not in the cards for me to have like a good man, you know, because even though that's an internal reality that you're experiencing, you're playing that reality out subconsciously. So the queen of reality, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. And I will be hopefully releasing information soon as I get the go ahead, like the intuitive go ahead. Like I'm going to pray about it, but I wanted to share this with you all. Obviously, like I'm really excited about it. And there's actually like a bunch of other trainings and stuff, but like I would be on here for so freaking long, and like I'm not gonna do that. But yes, like I'm so excited about this. I love you all so much, and I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts about this, and like message me if you want to like get on the phone and like talk about like pre-registering for this, because like I mean I honestly like I do this for fun. None of what I teach really is like a need in life. Like if you're in survival consciousness, like if you are just trying to survive, you're just trying to like get by, right? I understand that there's nothing wrong with it, but like this work is for women who want to recalibrate their energy towards thriving. Like I'm in thriving energy. Women that want to calibrate towards thriving energy link up with women who are in thriving energy. Like it's really that simple. What I'm teaching is not a need. It is very much so a luxury, and I intend to keep it that way because desire is so delicious, and calibrating yourself towards desire instead of like, well, I need this, or like if I don't have this, like I'll be in a bad way or something. And like I think that you definitely should be at a place where you're stable. I think that that's great, but like the work that I'm doing and at the place where I'm at, I'm in an energy of play. I'm in an energy of desire, expansion, like pleasure, and I am for women who want to calibrate to that frequency and that's a priority for their life. So if that's you, like please message me, please talk to me, and yeah, like I'm just in love, and I really enjoyed this, and I love you all so much, and I will talk to you soon.